Recently, a Senate committee decided to allocate an additional $25 billion to the Defense Department, to the Pentagon, that they hadn't originally asked for in their more than $700 billion budget. Senate committee gets together and just says, you know what? You guys have been such good players here. Let's give you an extra $25 billion. $25 billion. I want you to remember that number because I'm going to throw another number out here for you. $21.3 billion. $21.3 billion is obviously less than $25 billion. $21.3 billion is the amount of back rent owed by Americans through the pandemic. And as we all know, this past weekend, the eviction moratorium expired. Yesterday, Biden announced that he was going to try to put another eviction ban in place, so that's a good positive development here. However, I can't help but think that we've got enough money to where an eviction moratorium might be a moot point. How about we as a country just suck it up and we pay these people's rent? That's a better way to prevent eviction, right? Because then you also get to placate, and I hate to placate these people because they're greedy scumbags, but you get to placate all these mega corporations that own these housing complexes and apartment complexes and condos and homes across the country. They still get their money. So then they don't have anything to bitch about. But instead we say, you know what, Pentagon, have 25 extra billion. We could solve the housing eviction crisis with that money, but nah, you guys go ahead and take it instead. Here's another kicker. I'm going to throw another number out at you. $46 billion. $46 billion is how much Congress actually allocated earlier this year as part of the stimulus package for rental assistance here in the United States. Unfortunately, most of that money hasn't made it out to any renters in this country because it was given to the damn states instead. So the states, at their discretion, get to decide who's going to get the money and how you qualify for it and, you know, how much you're going to get, because they're sure as hell not going to give you enough to pay off all the back rent that you owe. This is mind-numbing at this point. We have the money. Hell, we already have the $46 billion, which would pay for the back rent more than twice, and maybe have a couple dollars left over to go, buy ice cream for everybody. I don't care. I don't know. All I know is that any crisis that we're seeing in this country that's going to come from this eviction explosion, if it happens, depending on what Biden's able to do with his new ban, it was preventable. It was 100% preventable. Because we could have paid for these people's rent. We could have paid for another 18 months of their rent. And with the additional $25 billion that we gave the Pentagon, hell, you know what? We could have thrown in an additional 18 months just to make sure everybody can get back on their feet. That's 4.5 years worth of rent. And over 3 years of it is still just sitting in accounts in the states. Some of it being misappropriated. Some of it being outright denied, because there's really no oversight once you hand it off to the states. They get to choose. Not good enough. It needs to be a congressional program. The states need to be taken out of this equation completely. Renters need to apply. Landlords should be able to apply as well. And to get together, match them up with the renter, find out exactly how much back rent is owed, and pay off that individual's rent one person at a time. And you do it for the 15 million Americans who could be facing eviction. We have the money to do it. Again, $46 billion's already been allocated, but it's not being spent. Could have taken the $25 billion instead of handing it to the Pentagon to go bomb more people in the Middle East. Could have paid off more rent. Could have made these people's lives complete. But when it comes to helping American citizens, there's always a catch with the money. But if you're a defense contractor, it's always open season. Come get it from the piggy bank every day in Washington, D.C.